everybody, welcome to another episode of Widgets and Wonders. This is my show about great products from small companies. Now today, we're going to be looking at a resin terrain collection of ruins, rubble, and battlefield accessories from Kraken Wargames. Now, you might remember Kraken Wargames for their neoprene gaming mats. That was their initial offering. They created a set of high sort of like quality, super detailed photo neoprene gaming mats. And this is really neat, is what they did was they painted these beautiful terrain setups. So 6x4 tables, fully detailed, fully modeled, wonderful sort of like set piece gaming tables. And they took super high res photographs of them and then implemented them onto neoprene so that you could basically have this beautiful real gaming table in your home. And they did a great job. They've been around for a bit now, and what's happened is they have joined forces with two other artists and brought you most recently a crowdfund for some accessories to match those gaming tables. So now Tobias, the owner of Kraken Wargames, did the original sort of like neoprene gaming mat stuff, and Phil and Stefan are the ones who have joined forces with him to make these really cool resin accessories. They just completed a crowdfund that has successfully funded and put these guys into production, and they're now also available up for pre-order. So if after you have a look at them, you're interested in them, I'll put the pre-order email. There's no website right now for them. But the email for doing pre-orders for them. And I think they're available sometime in the new year down there, and you can get more information. So without any further ado, I got some painted examples of some rubble and barricades, and then some really cool unpainted stuff and some comparison stuff too. So let's take a look at this new Wargame accessories and Wargame ruins and terrain from Kraken Wargames. So first things first, here's some painted examples of some rubble and some barricades that are now available from Kraken Wargames. Now, the rubble is really neat because it actually has some really kind of day-to-day items on it. You can see there's a bookshelf here with just some like household items in it. There's actually a couch and a refrigerator on this one right here. And the reason I like that is a lot of the barricades and sort of like resin terrain features you can buy, they're always covered in like sci-fi gizmos or crazy, I don't know, over-the-top sized gears and stuff that just isn't what garbage I think usually looks like. It all looks like it came out of some giant industrial zone. I threw a Space Marine in here just for some scale purposes, so you guys can see what it would look like compared to him. And these are just designed to be rough ground. So it's a rough ground here. This is all household stuff. So there's like a jerry can, but there's also like an easy chair, a bookshelf, a bunch of like little householdy odds and ends, tires. This one's got tires, looks like a locker, and then these ones are all sort of like a little bit more industrially. Some sort of little like bent pipes and gizmos and stuff. And this one right here is just like somebody's house. There's a couple of chairs, there's a broken table, there's a big broken couch and a broken fridge. And that one might be my favorite. But they're sort of like a post-apocalyptic style pile of rubble. So obviously this stuff's been sitting out long enough that most of the color's been washed off of it, and it's just heaps of rust and metal. And they've done a really nice job of sort of like showing that off in the paint. Then we got some tire piles. Gotta have tire piles because as anyone knows, if you go somewhere in your neighborhood or somewhere in your region, I guarantee you can find a trash dump that's just nothing but tires. And there's like I remember reading a news article, there's some tire fire that's been going for like 10 years. There's some dump that caught fire at one point and they can't put it out. Like there's no way for them to put it out. And I'm always surprised when you see battlefields in the far future or anywhere where there aren't huge heaps of tires, because they just get used by pretty much every civilization that's currently existing on Earth. So there should be piles of them lying around when the civilizations end, and they'll outlast everyone currently on Earth. We got some crates, sort of standard sized crates, and those are pretty much the same, and then a mixed thing here of barrels and whatchamacallit, tires. So there's some painted examples. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you some painted examples next to some unpainted examples so you can get a feel for the resin, how it comes and how it looks. All right, so here you have some side-by-sides, the exact same piece, basically twice. Again, they painted them up in some just super rusty, like ancient sort of like paint schemes here. But this stuff is cast in a white resin. This stuff is durable, but not brittle. I've used this white resin before. I think Armor Cast uses this quite a bit. A bunch of stuff I got from Strange Aeons has it, and it's really common in low yield, low production runs of stuff. I think it's actually like available to like in like non-commercial bulk. So if you're basically making stuff in resin and you're starting off doing it and you're not buying stuff in like huge industrial quantities, this is usually the grade of resin that you start off with, because this stuff's available to sort of like non-giant businesses. And so just some examples. We've got some of the mixed stuff. We've got some crates and some barrels. We've got some barrels and crates, and sort of like the same thing over and over. This one's got a gun on it too. There's like a little shotgun or something hanging out on that, and some ammo crates. But much the same. The stuff is, having worked with it before, this like quality of resin, it takes primer fine, just your usual resin steps. Make sure you wash it and make sure that you've got all the mold release off it, so that you don't have any problems with the resin adhesion, or sorry, the primer adhering to it, and making sure your paint stays on. But other than that, great stuff. And so here we have some barricades, and I'm really excited about these. There's another rubble pile in here too. It's like a collapsed barricade. If you look, there's like a big chunk of corrugated metal that's fallen over. So these are like standing ones, and this is one that looks like it's kind of been like destroyed or overrun, that you can use as difficult terrain. I will definitely paint these up for use in, you guessed it, because there's a model in there for scale, Dark Age, because these are some fantastic looking outcast or nomad sort of like fortifications, as well as this is not a test, because again, this is basically just fallout terrain. Like it's perfect. And you can obviously use it for 40k and stuff too, and it'll all match up with the other barricades and bits of battlefield debris that you already saw that's all painted up. It's using the same size barrels and the same size tires, so it's all gonna look perfectly fine when you put them together. I showed them to you sort of like in facing, but here's the outsides as well. It's all corrugated sheet metal. Oops, and then piles of girders and sort of like hanging bits and bobs. You could even paint some of these up to be like a trading post, almost post-apocalyptic trading post. So one of my plans is I might actually do the one in the back there with the tire full of junk and the tire hanging off of the I-beam as like a little trader stand, and put like a little guy, because I've got some post-apocalyptic trader types from Lead Adventure Form that I might paint up, and then if I want to have some sort of like town terrain for my post-apocalyptic stuff, it's ready to go. But anyway, there it is with a Kukulkani K3 guy and a 32mm base for scale. Some unpainted, we got some terrain, sort of like difficult terrain stuff, and some barricades from Kraken Wargames. And this last one might be my favorite of the bunch, because this is the kind of stuff that you kind of have to dig for online. And it's just day-to-day accessories. We've got some perfect Fallout lockers here in the back. Oh my gosh, there's a 3 pile, there's an intact one, and there's a kicked in one right here. And yeah, those are getting painted up for this not test for sure. You got a pile of household items, so a wrecked couch, a relatively intact couch, an easy chair. You have a, it's even got stuff on the shelves, a bookshelf here. You have a fridge, just a bin, like a little like household sized bin with some garbage hanging out of it. And then you've got, and these might be my favorite things of all, you got 2 body bags with bodies in them. And those are totally getting used in my zombie game. I put in another 30mm base mini. This is one of my converted Mercs minis for Rogue Stars. My little Kendra Daniels in there, so you can see this stuff to scale. Yeah, it's perfect, 28mm. House accessories and stuff, and you will definitely see this painted up from a Zombie Games, and of course for this not test and stuff too, because you gotta have, that's the thing that makes it like post-apocalyptic, is when there's like a couch on a roof with like a sniper rifle next to it for no reason. You just wander around, you just see that kind of stuff. And to me, it's those little details that really make a table awesome, is when you set these little vignettes, and I love little bits and bobs like these. So kudos to you guys. I would love to see more stuff like this, like little wrecked TVs and beds, and oh, that's awesome. Love this stuff, perfect. And there you have it, some super cool scattered difficult terrain barricades and just neato household accessories from Kraken Wargames, who also get my vote for possibly the coolest like little boutique miniature accessory company logo of all time. This little Kraken guy is pretty awesome. So now if you are interested in doing some pre-orders for this stuff in the future, because it's all closed down now, the Kickstarter pledge manager and stuff like that, you can email them at info@krakenwargames.com. And I'll put the link in the video description so you guys can check it out, like I said earlier. And they will get back to you with all the details. So this is stuff that's currently, it's all fun, it's all done. There's no crowdfund currently going on for it. It's all getting into production. And this is you guys having the opportunity to get in touch with them and hopefully get your stuff around the same time or just after the backers do that put it into production through the crowdfund. So congrats guys on getting your stuff funded. It looks fantastic. I'm excited to paint some of it up and have it in the gaming table. You'll see it in the future on the gaming table, or sorry, on the gaming table, on the paint table. You'll see it on future gaming tables as I run through lots of my post-apocalyptic and other various war games, my 30K stuff, 40K stuff. I'm sure we'll see it as well because you can always use difficult terrain. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you do know of a great product from a small company that you think deserves more attention, you can have them email me at guerrillaminiaturegames@gmail.com or Facebook message me at facebook.com/outofthebasement into the streets. And I'll do my best to put it in front of as many people as possible. It's a really brave thing, making something and putting it out there. And I think it deserves all the attention it can get. So we'll see you next time for more Widgets and Wonders. Till then, I'm Ash. Have a good day.